A Japanese soldier suddenly makes a shocking decision during the final moments of war. He cuts open the chains of American prisoners and sets them free, even signaling the guards not to fire. While searching the area, he notices a pair of eyes staring at him from deep inside a well. Curious, he discovers a mysterious prisoner trapped below and frees him. But before either man can escape, military officers order the soldier to sacrifice himself. Fear grips him as chaos spreads around the battlefield. Then, without warning, a devastating atomic bomb begins falling from the sky. The prisoner immediately realizes the danger and drags the soldier toward the well. The soldier jumps inside just as the explosion erupts, while the mysterious prisoner shields him from the unimaginable inferno outside. When the destruction finally settles, the soldier crawls out with only minor injuries. But the man who saved him appears completely burned, his body reduced to what looks like ashes. Then something impossible happens. The wounds begin healing before the soldier's eyes. Flesh regenerates, skin reforms, and the dead-looking man returns to life. The soldier has just witnessed the immortal mutant Wolverine. Years later, Wolverine lives alone in the wilderness, finding peace with a bear that has become his closest companion. One stormy night, gunshots echo through the forest. Wolverine discovers that hunters have mortally wounded the bear. Seeing his friend suffering, he grants the animal a merciful death. Filled with grief and anger, he follows the hunters sent through the rain, determined to confront the man responsible. Wolverine tracks the hunter to a bar where the man proudly boasts about killing the bear. Without hesitation, Wolverine punishes him and makes him suffer for his cruelty. Before the confrontation can turn deadly, a mysterious red-haired woman intervenes. She effortlessly defeats armed thugs with incredible combat skills and then reveals why she came. She has been searching for Wolverine on behalf of an old Japanese man. That man is none other than the soldier whose life Wolverine saved decades ago. Now old and dying, he wants one final meeting before death claims him. Wolverine reluctantly agrees and travels to Tokyo. There he meets the elderly man and his beautiful granddaughter Mariko. The old soldier is stunned that Wolverine still looks exactly the same while he himself has grown old and weak. The old man reveals that he has never forgotten the debt he owes Wolverine. As repayment, he offers something unbelievable: freedom from immortality. He claims he can remove Wolverine's healing power and allow him to live a normal life. Wolverine immediately refuses, insisting he only came to say goodbye to an old friend. The old man changes the subject and asks Wolverine to protect Mariko after his death because powerful enemies are already targeting her inheritance. Later that night, Wolverine is haunted by visions of Jean Grey. The dream feels real until he suddenly realizes something is wrong. A mysterious woman appears and releases a strange poison into his body. Wolverine has no idea that this attack has secretly begun shutting down his healing factor. The following day, the old Japanese man dies. At the funeral, Wolverine notices suspicious activity and strange symbols that immediately raise alarms. Before he can investigate further, violence erupts. Gunshots ring out and assassins attack. Wolverine is shocked when his wounds no longer heal. For the first time in decades, pain becomes real again. As criminals kidnap Mariko, he fights desperately against overwhelming odds. Bullets, fists, and blades begin taking their toll. Despite his weakened condition, Wolverine refuses to give up. Just when defeat seems certain, unexpected help arrives and allows him and Mariko to escape. Together they race toward a bullet train, unaware that even deadlier enemies are already closing in behind them. The bullet train becomes a battlefield at incredible speed. Wolverine cleans his wounds and prepares himself, but assassins quickly surround him. A brutal fight erupts inside the speeding train. One by one, enemies are thrown through doors and windows while Wolverine struggles to survive without his healing abilities. Eventually, the battle spills onto the roof. With death only inches away, Wolverine balances against the rushing wind and attacks his enemies atop the train. After an exhausting struggle, he and Mariko finally escape. They hide in a quiet village far from the chaos. For the first time in years, Wolverine experiences something close to a normal life. As days pass, He and Mariko grow closer, and a genuine bond begins to form between them. Life in the village feels peaceful. Mariko cooks dinner, waits for Wolverine to return each evening, and slowly becomes the bright spot in his troubled existence. But happiness never lasts long for Wolverine. One morning he wakes to discover Mariko has vanished. Racing outside, he sees armed men dragging her away. Without hesitation, he leaps into action, chasing the kidnappers through the city. Bullets strike him, but he continues pursuing them. Even as pain tears through his body, he refuses to stop. Just when it seems the kidnappers might escape, the red-haired warrior returns with a luxury car. Wolverine jumps in, and together they launch a desperate pursuit, while Mariko is delivered into the hands of dangerous enemies with their own sinister plans. Mariko's father attempts to force her into surrendering control of the family fortune, but hidden forces are already moving behind the scenes. A mysterious ninja silently eliminates guards and disrupts the operation. Elsewhere, the deadly mutant viper reveals her true colors. Using poison so powerful it works within seconds, she attacks Shingen and leaves him for dead. Meanwhile, Wolverine follows clues leading him toward a trap. He knows danger awaits, but abandoning Mariko is not an option. As bodies pile up around him, he begins uncovering evidence that something much larger is happening. Every road seems connected to the dead old man, the family inheritance, and a conspiracy stretching far deeper than he originally imagined. Searching for answers, Wolverine discovers advanced medical equipment once used by the old Japanese businessman. A full body scan reveals a horrifying truth. Attached to his heart is a parasite suppressing his healing factor. Realizing this creature is the source of his weakness, Wolverine decides to remove it himself. In an agonizing scene, he cuts open his own chest and reaches inside. Just as he is about to extract the parasite, Shingen suddenly returns, proving he survived Viper's poison. A vicious fight erupts between Shingen and the red-haired warrior while Wolverine continues his gruesome operation. Finally, through unbearable pain, he tears the parasite free. The effort causes him to collapse unconscious, but his healing powers immediately begin returning. As Wolverine recovers, the red-haired warrior desperately protects him from Shingen's relentless attacks. She fights bravely, but Shingen's strength eventually overwhelms her. Just when he is about to finish her, Wolverine rises once again. Fully restored, he launches into battle with renewed fury. The fight becomes a savage clash of blades, fists, and claws. Wounds that would kill ordinary men heal instantly, terrifying Shingen. No matter how hard he strikes, Wolverine keeps coming. Eventually, the mutant gains the upper hand and defeats his enemy. With one threat eliminated, Wolverine focuses on rescuing Mariko. But while preparing for the next stage of the mission, new secrets emerge involving a mysterious weapon known only as the Silver Samurai. As Wolverine closes in on Mariko's location, Viper develops an even stronger toxin designed specifically to weaken him. Harada, confident in his own abilities, underestimates Wolverine and prepares for battle. Soon the two warriors finally meet. Their confrontation quickly escalates into a large-scale fight involving countless ninja warriors. Wolverine charges through wave after wave of attackers, refusing to slow down. Even when swords cut into him, his restored healing factor keeps him alive. Harada is stunned by Wolverine's resilience, but numbers begin overwhelming him. Ambushes come from every direction, and the enemy launches a carefully coordinated assault. Despite Wolverine's incredible power, the odds continue shifting against him. The battle intensifies as ninjas surround Wolverine from every side. Traps, motorcycles, and surprise attacks force him into constant motion. The red-haired warrior races to help while Wolverine tears through enemies with savage determination. Eventually, the fight spills onto moving vehicles and crowded roadways. When escape becomes impossible, Wolverine orders his ally to run. Then, with complete confidence, he punctures a fuel tank and triggers a massive explosion. Flames consume the battlefield and countless enemies vanish in the blast. Emerging from the fire like a legend, Wolverine continues advancing. Yet more enemies arrive. Archers positioned above unleash a storm of arrows, and the battle begins wearing him down once again. Arrow after arrow strikes Wolverine. Though he keeps moving, poison begins spreading through his body. His speed slows, his vision blurs, and his strength fades. Harada sees the opportunity and fires another devastating shot. Finally, Wolverine collapses unconscious. When he awakens, he finds himself restrained inside a secret facility. Standing beside him is a gigantic suit of armor known as the Silver Samurai. Viper reveals the truth behind the parasite and proudly admits she orchestrated his suffering. Wolverine struggles against his restraints, but powerful machines hold him in place. Then the towering Silver Samurai activates. Step by step, the massive machine approaches, drawing a blazing sword and preparing to carry out a horrifying procedure. As the Silver Samurai raises its enormous weapon, Mariko suddenly arrives and helps Wolverine escape. Together they flee through the facility while Viper and the armored giant pursue them relentlessly. During the chaos, Harada turns against Viper and shoots her with an arrow. But Viper survives in terrifying fashion, shedding her skin like a serpent and revealing an even more monstrous appearance. Before Wolverine and Mariko can get far, the Silver Samurai crashes down in front of them. The giant warrior blocks their path and launches a devastating attack. Wolverine charges forward without hesitation, grabbing the machine and dragging both of them into a brutal confrontation far below. The final battle begins. Silver Samurai's immense strength pushes Wolverine to his limits. Massive sword strikes shake the battlefield while Wolverine desperately counters with his claws. Then disaster strikes. The armored giant slices through Wolverine's adamantium claws, severing them completely. Agonizing pain overwhelms him. Before he can recover, Viper attacks with deadly poison, leaving his vision distorted and his movements sluggish. Silver Samurai presses the advantage, nearly killing him. But fate intervenes when the giant's sword damages critical equipment and plunges the facility into darkness. Seizing the opportunity, Wolverine steals the giant blade and prepares for one last desperate stand. While the red-haired warrior battles Viper, Wolverine finds himself cornered by Silver Samurai. Harada suddenly returns and creates a brief distraction, giving Wolverine a chance to fight back. The giant machine refuses to stop. Every attack grows more dangerous than the last. Finally, Wolverine discovers a weakness. Grabbing the enormous sword, he channels every ounce of strength into a devastating strike against the armor. The battle reaches its climax as Wolverine and Silver Samurai crash toward a deep abyss. Hanging between life and death, Wolverine struggles to climb back to safety. But before he can escape, the giant machine grabs him and reveals its true purpose. Silver Samurai drills into Wolverine's body and begins stealing his healing power. The horrifying truth is finally revealed. Inside the armor is the old Japanese man himself. He never died. Everything was part of a plan to steal Wolverine's immortality and restore his own youth. As Wolverine weakens, the old man rapidly grows younger. It seems victory is within his grasp. Then Mariko arrives at the perfect moment. With a single decisive strike, she kills him. Wolverine gathers the last of his strength, destroys the Silver Samurai armor, and unleashes his bone claws. He ends the threat once and for all before sending the villain plunging into the abyss below. Exhausted, Wolverine collapses unconscious. Days later, Wolverine recovers and says an emotional goodbye to Mariko before leaving Japan behind. His journey appears finished, but destiny has other plans. After landing at an airport, he notices coins mysteriously floating through the air. Instinctively, he prepares for danger, only to discover that he can no longer move. The person responsible is Magneto, master of magnetism. Magneto warns him that humanity is creating a weapon capable of wiping mutants from existence. Suddenly, time itself seems to freeze as Professor X appears beside Wolverine. The legendary mutant leader explains that a new threat is coming and invites Wolverine to join the fight. With the future of mutant kind hanging in the balance, Wolverine's story closes on a powerful cliffhanger that leads directly into an even greater battle ahead.